time. Good morning to you. Welcome to the Thursday edition of Power Zone on Power 98.7. Now we're talking. My name is Khaya Mahlangu, of course, standing in for Katlego Legodi this morning, the 15th of June 2023. The last and final hour of today's show. It goes that quickly, my friends. But thanks so much for sticking with us. Let me remind you, of course, the lines are always open. 0861987000 at Power FM 987 on Twitter. I'm at Mnisinkosi Khona. Use the hashtag Power Zone. 98.7, of course, it's Pretoria and Johannesburg, 103.6. Joburg South, the West Rand, Vereeniging, 104.4. And the East Rand, Ekurhuleni is 107.2. Of course, we're also on the DSTV audio bouquet at channel 889, power987.co.za. Wherever in the world you are, that's where you can find us. Let's get into this conversation now. And I spoke about a beginner's guide into starting a trucking company in the South African context. A lot of people say trucking logistics have a lot of money. Right? And perhaps someone that can answer that particular question is Khaya Mahlangu. He's a businessman, sales expert, motivational speaker on transport and logistics, sales and business expansion. He also has a YouTube channel where he educates people about trucking. Khaya, perhaps the first question, do you yourself have a trucking business?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Tell us about that journey. How did it come about?
Morning, everyone. Hope you guys are up and ready to listen to the best in the transport and logistics business, Khaya Mahlangu. This for me, it started when I was actually 19 years old. That's when I got involved in the transport business. But when I started, actually, I started the business through the sales side of the business. So I've been selling the trucks since I was 19. So obviously you meet people, you develop the passion for the business itself, and you want to understand what the transport business is all about.
Yeah.
So that's where it all began, me researching about the business, seeing how can I get involved in the business, meeting people who are already in business and people who are already far ahead in business. I remember when I was 19, I was meeting guys who had 50 trucks, 20 trucks, 10 trucks. You get someone coming in to buy 5 trucks and you question yourself, where are these trucks going, So that's where it all began for me. So I've been in the sales side. I'm still in the sales side of the business, though I still have trucks that are running. So what I basically do, I buy, resell, and what I do, I buy sometimes. If there is work that is available, then I put a truck on the work that is available. But I specifically choose the best work, not any work that comes my way.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm tempted to ask, where does the money come from?
To buy the trucks?
Yes.
So obviously on the sales side, that's where I started. Like I said, I saved enough, bought my first truck. I remember I was 23 when I bought the first truck.
Wow.
So from there, I kept on working, kept on working. I actually still work even today, know, so that I can get the business, grow the business, and still be able to manage the business, because this business, you need money.
Yes.
To actually run the business, because it's capital intensive. I can tell you that you need to have money to be able to run a transport business. So you find most people quitting their work, getting the money from the pension fund and stuff and buying a truck, of which it's a good thing. But down the line, they always fail, because there is breakdowns when you buy a truck. There's so many things that you face when you're running a truck. You need tires, you need to pay the driver. You see the diesel is always going up. You're not ready for those things. So that's why I keep on working and still run the transport business on the side. So there is a dealership that we currently are putting together. That one is specifically for me personally,
right?
Not for the work side of things.
Yeah.
Yes.
At development stage, what are the things that you would say someone who's aspiring to become like you must look out for? So the things that perhaps they should be very wary of, to say, this, I must know that this is not going right. And perhaps this, I must also know that this is where I'm supposed to be going.
Okay, so the first thing first, when you're starting out, obviously you have the money, but you still don't know where to start,
Yeah.
So it's a complex industry. There's people using barges to transport stuff. There's people using trucks to transport stuff. There is people also using trains, obvious ships and stuff, but we're basically talking about the transport business itself, meaning the trucking side of things. So we're talking about trucks here. So on the trucking side, there's people who transport side tippers. There's people who do tote liners. There's people who do superlinks. There's people who do triaxles.
Okay. Break that down for us.
So most people get confused where to start.
Sure.
So I've always said you have to narrow it down to a certain industry that you want to be involved. Be it the coal side of things, chrome, manganese, you're going for the side tippers.
Okay.
If you're doing groceries, if you're doing boxes, cement and stuff, you need flat decks, links. Obviously, you will need also super links, tote liners, but not for cement, but maybe for groceries. Definitely, you will need tote liners. Then there is the triaxles. I'm sure you have seen steel companies.
Okay.
We all see them on the roads pulling steel. You need triaxles for steel. Even superlinks can still do the steel side of things.
Yeah.
So you need to narrow it down to understand: is it side tippers? Is it superlinks? Or is it triaxles? Once you know which angle you wanna get involved, then it's time for you to check the pricing on the trucks, how much the truck will cost, how much the side tipper will cost. Then if it's the grocery side of things, you check how much the superlink tote liner will cost and the truck. Obviously, all these trucks are different. The truck that can pull a side tipper can still pull a tote liner, but there is specifications there. You need to know, okay, am I getting a 3340 Mercedes or I'm getting a MAN TGS or what? Because there is different suspensions on these things. If you're going for the mines, you need to have a steel suspension, because there by the mines you work 24/7.
Yeah.
And then if you're pulling tote liners, you're on the third road, you can use apex. The driver needs comfort. So those are the small things that you need to understand. Most people don't pay attention to most of those things. And for me, I can always tell you, when you come through to me, let's say you want to buy a truck from me, I will know that this one, 6 months down the line, you'll be calling me ready to sell.
Sure. So these are just the type of trucks we're speaking about for the different goods that one may be transporting.
Yeah.
But okay, say I've bought the truck, I've identified what we've just spoken about.
Yeah.
There's issues of registering, right? There's issues of compliance.
Yeah.
Talk to us about that kind of process.
So obviously, by the mines, let's say you buy a truck, you wanna transport coal, chrome, and stuff. You go for mine inspection. So you take your truck, you take your trailer, you go to the mines. They will inspect that truck and they will pass it. Before that, you won't be able to transport anything on our roads. So also similar to tote liners, you go for induction.
Okay.
So they check the truck, check the tires, check everything, no oil leaks or whatsoever on the truck. Once you pass, then you get given the go-ahead to start transporting the trucks. Obviously, once you buy it, it has to go for roadworthy. It has to go for roadworthy. We got testing stations that do testing and everything for the trucks.
And obviously there's human resource, human capital involved in all of this. And you spoke about the issue of how difficult it is and expensive to maintain trucks.
Yeah.
And I think it would be important to have drivers that are able to take care of the trucks.
Yes.
Speak to us about the importance of hiring the right people to do the job, hiring responsible people. We know the issue with the trucking industry and the contribution that trucks do have towards road fatalities, just as an example. So talk to us about the importance of getting people that understand responsibility in one, taking care of the truck, but also taking care of moving things around, of driving around, and all the challenges that come around that kind of job.
Okay, for drivers, most people actually, the truck owners, from my own experience, most people don't take care of the drivers, and it's a bad thing, The driver is the face of the company. People who buy trucks, if they are listening right now, they need to look after the drivers, because drivers are the face of the company. The truck is there, but the guy inside, you have to look after that guy, because he's the blood of the company. He's the one pushing the loads. He's the one working for the company. And most people love pushing the drivers to the edge in terms of saying, we gotta run the loads, we gotta run the loads, we gotta meet the target, we have to meet the target. At the end of the day, drivers get tired. We're all human. They get tired. So people need to be able to work with the drivers, not against the drivers. They need to work hand in hand with the drivers. Obviously, like I said, we're all human beings. There is bad drivers and good drivers. So it's your duty as a business owner to understand your driver. You need to put systems in place in your company to be able to understand if you got a good driver or a bad driver. Your clients will always tell you, okay, look, Utravako is the best, This guy, hey, he's always late, man. All these things, you will know about it from your customers, and people actually, some of the big companies actually have like their numbers on their trucks to report bad driving and all that. So big companies do understand that it's important for them to make sure, we would say, the drivers are well taken care of, and the drivers represent the company.
Yeah. And you speak of issues around clientele. Of course, this is very important in understanding who you're servicing, essentially, but also building clientele. Speak to us about the importance of, and I want to say networking, but networking in the right sense, because other people can mistake networking for having links or ties to certain people.
Yes.
And when people, it's a huge industry, but there's also risks around this particular industry, and there's always elements of things not being done in the right way, But I don't think it should seem to taint the goodness and prosperity that comes with establishing, building, and then running a successful trucking and logistics company. But talk to us about the importance of understanding your clients and also establishing a network of clients as to build and grow your business.
Okay, so you see, once you get work right, you have to deliver. Your trucks have to be in tip-top condition. People talk. If you got breakdowns, are you able to deliver on time? In terms of, if you got a breakdown today, let's say at 2 o'clock, and you're supposed to deliver at 6, will you still be able to deliver? Do you talk to your clients in time to tell them that I have a problem here? If you can manage those things, it's mostly what kills people in this business is breakdowns, right? So you need to have a system in place to manage breakdowns. And once you start delivering top quality service, you will get more clients because of referrals. People talk. In business, people talk. It's a small world. You might think it's actually what you do to a client, it won't get to the other person. It always does, because it's an industry where once you get on, let's say on the side of business, everyone knows everyone there. So if you got breakdowns, make sure you deliver. make sure you got systems in place to make sure you get to where to get the load where it's supposed to get. So once you are able to do that, people talk, and this person will say, look, I gave Khaya a load. He was able to deliver on time. We ran for the last 6 months and he was able to deliver my load. I think you can trust the guy. You can give him
the job done.
Yeah, you will still deliver the job. So obviously that's where the driver comes in. Like I said, you have to have systems in place. So for you to grow the business and have more referrals, you have to look after the driver, you have to look after the trucks, you have to make sure your trucks are under a strict service routine regime. Your trucks have to be in tip-top condition all the time. If it's time for service that truck, so that you are the person, you are the go-to person. Your company is there every time when work is made available on the market. They say, look, we're calling this company because we know it delivers. That's why today we got companies like Imperial. They don't have to go to your company and look for work anymore. But your company will come to Imperial and say, Imperial, can you run this load because of their service? They know that if they have a break, if the load has to move, it will move, because remember, the trucks move the economy. People don't understand that. Trucks move the economy. Production lines are always waiting for stock from Durban to Joburg. So imagine if I give you a load and you are not able to deliver on time. So it means maybe I have a day wasted. So that's where it comes in, where you need to look after your trucks. Make sure you look after your trucks so that when time comes for you to grow, it's easier for you to grow because they know and understand that you deliver on time.
You speak about trucks moving the economy. It's true. But it almost triggered something where I remember, the calls for some of the goods that are being transported with the use of trucks being taken back to rail as a result of, one, the issue of the contribution to the road accidents and fatalities. What do you say to such? What impact would this have? Do you agree? Do you disagree? What are your thoughts?
Look, for me, I still believe they need to be trains moving.
Sure.
More trains means we are growing as a nation, right? It means we are moving more because trucks can move, but at a certain extent, But once we have rail, it means we're working, So I would love to see some of the things taken from trucks and put on the rail, I would love to see that.
Would you not make a loss?
No, you won't make a loss.
Okay.
No, you won't make a loss because there's still more that we can achieve. There's still more. If we dig deeper and we work harder, there's more that we can achieve. That you will feed the rail side of things and you still feed the transport side of things.
Right.
Everyone will still make money in there, because right now I can tell you we might have a backlog. We don't know, So I still believe if we can work hand in hand, we can achieve even greater things because every modern economy uses trains and trucks.
Yeah.
So why not us? We need both.
Yeah. How have you managed your success in the trucking and logistics industry? You started young. Your first truck at 23?
Yeah.
How have you managed it? Because a lot of people make it, they get very successful, particularly in this industry, and they seem to lose it for a variety of reasons. How have you managed it?
For me, I've always stayed hungry. I want more. I've always said, can we build the next Imperial Logistics again, So I started these guys that made it in the transport business, like the Imperial guys, the guy who Bill Leach, who actually put Imperial to where it is today. And I understand the journey that he took, to build something, a giant like Imperial. There's companies like Henrik. You look at those companies, you ask yourself, like, will I get there? You know, that's the question that I ask myself all the time. So I'm willing to put in the work. I'm still young. I always say it.
Yeah.
I still believe one day I'll sit there on top and people will say he's actually the richest man in Africa, you know.
Yeah.
That's my aim, you know. So for me, success for now, I don't see it, you know. I'm hungry. I still wanna go. I still wanna see if I can do 50 trucks on the road. I still wanna see if I can do 200 on the road, 1,000 on the road. I was checking Alinko Tankoti, seeing how many trucks he has on the road, you know. So for me, it's gonna be the trucks, but there's something special that I know that people don't know. It's the product that the truck transports.
Yeah.
So if I can get on the product side of things that the truck transport, then I'll start talking. For now, I don't see anything.
Yeah. Let's talk sustainability, and I'm tying this question to managing not only just your personal success and your achievements, but that of the company. So issues of managing your finance as well, right? Keeping a good, healthy, positive cash flow. How have you done that, and what advice would you give to perhaps people that are challenged in that regard to say, okay, this money is coming in, but I'm struggling to maintain and keep it going and to, you know, help it grow in a sense?
So the problem that we all have is when money starts coming in, the first thing that we want to do is go to the dealership and buy something nice to show people that, look, Khaya has arrived. Khaya is the man, you know. But that money is not your money. That's business money. So you need to be able to separate you, your family, your spouse from the business. So the business has its own life. You also have your what? Your own life. So you need to be able to get paid a salary from your own business. So your business, if it's making 3 million, you're still going to get paid 30,000. So if you're able to get paid 30,000, then the business is breathing. It means you got more time, you know, to grow the business itself. So people need to learn to get a salary from their businesses. I've seen guys with 1 or 2 trucks. The first mistake they make when the 200, 300,000 comes in, it's his money, not the business money. So you need to be able to separate the business from yourself. You need to get paid a salary from your own business.
Do you determine your own salary, Khaya?
The business does, you know.
Fair enough.
The business does,
Fair
you know.
enough.
So if I can keep on working hard and growing the business, then I think we're good to go.
There we go. We've got Eric in Spradeview. I think he wants to weigh in or perhaps ask a question. Eric, good morning. How are you? Welcome to the show.
Good morning. How are you?
Oh, good. How are you?
I'm good, man. And good morning to your guest there.
Yes.
Yes, I wanted to find out about the speed of a truck, man. Does he accept the normal speed of 80 on the road, and his drivers, do they adhere to that normal speed of 80, and how many drivers should be there in one truck as it is operating from one distance to the other?
Do you wanna? There's the question, Khaya. That's yours.
Okay. So with trucks, remember, you can lock them at a certain speed. Everyone has his own speed that he wants his trucks to run, you know. I wouldn't talk for other people, but 80 is the speed, you know. But definitely there is guys who will let it go to 100, but 80 is the speed, and every company has to make sure their trucks are locked at 80. That's the policy, you know, because once you let the truck run at 120, you know you're gonna have the road the accidents that we spoke about earlier. They are caused most of the time the speed, you know. If you let your truck run at 120, you know that thing can move. It's heavy and it's carrying 34 tons behind. So 80 is
the speed.
Yeah, is the speed.
Eric, you also, I think, asked about the number of drivers. Just go again and just re-articulate that question.
Yeah, I wanted to find out because they might be driving a long distance, say from maybe Limpopo to Cape Town.
Yes.
Do you put one truck driving at night between that distance?
How many drivers would you have for such a trip?
Usually it's one. Remember, a driver along the way they
Gets
get
to
to
rest.
rest.
Okay.
They have to rest, so they get their time where they park on there's garages, truck stops where they can park, rest, and when they feel they are ready to continue, they proceed the journey. But there is also some loads that it's 24 hours. Let's say by the mines, it's 24 hours. So there's driver shifts.
Okay.
Like where the first driver will come in and
Okay.
then the second driver will come in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Eric and Spraithview, are you answered?
Yeah. I'm well answered because trucks of today, some of them can speed even than private cars. I drive a private car. Sometimes you find them pressing you on the road.
Sure.
Other people driving at a speed maybe even more than 120, which is not acceptable.
100%. Absolutely. Eric, thank you so much there for your
Thank
contribution to this conversation, Khaya. And really, I think this is one conversation that can't only be kept to one day because there's so many other elements of it. And I think the one theme that really stands out is the safety where trucks are concerned. And I mean, I even think now of the safety of your drivers when they're making these stops at night, they have to rest. I've seen incidents where, they've been attacked, they've been robbed during these times. So there is so many other issues and it's such a broad topic. But I think where you're concerned, thank you so much for joining us. I really wish you all the best. You didn't tell me the name of your trucking business.
It's Sikash Logistics.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much. Really, really do appreciate your time. Wishing you all the best.
Thank you.
Getting to that level where you've got 1,000 trucks operating on the road and keeping on. And I think this was really informative in getting people that wanting to start going.
Yes.
And I think the biggest thing is just getting it done. Do something about it and do it wisely. And do it wisely. Any parting words?
Obviously, the time was short. There's so many things I would have loved to share. I wanted to touch on contracts, how people can source contracts. They need to understand how to source contracts. There's so many things I wanted to touch on valueless human assets. Those are the things that I would have loved to share with you. There's so many things on buying your movable asset. You need to know how to buy a truck, what to check when you're buying a truck. All those things I actually wanted to share with you today, but I didn't get the opportunity. Hopefully you guys call me again to come and share more of these things, because I can tell you so many people want to get involved in the transport business. I remember when I started the YouTube channel,
Yes,
I was
that's
speaking
what I wanted to
alone.
get to,
You know,
yes.
I would put a video, and now we're on 6,000 people following us on YouTube alone.
Sure.
And I know there's so many people out there who still want to know more about the business.
Yeah.
So I feel like we did almost get to it, but there's more that I would love to share.
Certainly. Just give us maybe direction to that YouTube channel.
You just check, if you just Google it,
Yeah.
Khaya Mahlangu trucks,
Right.
I'll always pop out.
You'll always pop up there.
Then you'll see everything.
Yeah, I think having you again, it's not something that's impossible. We can certainly make it happen another time. But of course, Khaya Mahlangu tracks on YouTube. I'm going to also go check it out.
You have to.
And go have a look at it. But yes, Khaya Mahlangu, thanks so much for your time.
You've been listening to a Power 98.7 podcast.